Welcome to ChemCon. In today's video, we are going to look at periodic chemistry, also known as periodicity. Since the discovery of the first element, copper, in 9000 BC, there are 118 known elements. These elements are arranged in vertical and horizontal order on the periodic table based on their atomic numbers as proposed by the scientist Henry Moseley in 1913. The vertical and horizontal arrangement of these elements are done in such a way that those having similar outer configuration properties are arranged within the same area of this table, known as periodic table. What is then the periodic table? A periodic table is any table containing all known elements arranged in systematic order of increasing atomic number, such that their outer electron configuration and properties occur in an interval. On this same periodic table, certain elements are arranged in such a way that they have the same outer electrons. Some elements are also arranged in such a way that they have the same number of shells. All those elements having the same number of outer electrons are said to be in the same group, and those elements having the same number of shells are said to be in the same period. We have several types of group across the entire periodic table. The first type of group is known as the alkali metals, also known as group 1. Group 1 because they have one outer or valence electron. They are also called the alkali metals. Alkali metals because they are all metals, and when you dissolve them in water, they form basic solution. The second group of the periodic table is known as the group 2 elements, also known as the alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals because they are obtained from the earth, and when you dissolve them in water, they also form a basic solution. We also have the group 6 elements, and these group 6 elements are called group 6 because they have 6 valence electrons. They have a unique name called the chalcogens. Chalcogens because they are formers of copper ore, meaning anytime you find the ores of copper, they are always in a compound form with this particular ore. We have what we call the group 7, also known as the halogens. These group 7 are said to be called halogens because they always form salt when they combine with other metals. We also have the last group that happens to be the group 8, also known as the noble gases. They are said to be called noble gases because they are all gases and they are unreactive or does not like to react with other elements. Another category of the periodic table happens to be the period. As I said earlier on, those elements are elements that have the same number of shells. We have different types of period on the periodic table. The first period is known as the period 1. Period 1 because they have only one shell. We also have the period 2 elements, which means those set of elements have 2 shells. We have the period 3 elements, meaning those set of elements have 3 shells. Another category of the periodic table happens to be the blocks of elements. Blocks of elements simply means that where the last electrons end. We have the S block element, the P block element, the D block element, and the F block element. S block element because their last electron ends in the S orbital. Example of such elements are the group 1 elements and the group 2 elements. We also have the P block element, meaning their last electrons enter or ends in the P orbital. Example of such elements happens to be those from group 4, group 5, group 6 up to group 8. We also have what we call the D block element, meaning those set of elements, their last electron ends in the D orbital. Example of such elements happens to be the transition element from scandium to zinc. We have the F block element, meaning those elements, their last electron enters into the F orbital. Example of the F block elements happens to be the lanthanide series and the actinide series. These different categories of the periodic table make the various elements to have different properties. As a chemist or scientist, we want to understand the various properties or difference in the characteristics among the various elements. This leads us to what we call the periodic chemistry. So basically, periodic chemistry is about the study of the various properties of the elements that are being arranged on the periodic table as they increase from one atom to the other. In order to understand the various properties from one element to another, there is a law backing these properties, and this law is known as the periodic law. What is then the periodic law? The periodic law states that the periodic properties of the various elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number. Since we now understand what periodic chemistry means, let's move straight forward to understand what we call periodic properties. What is then periodic properties? Periodic properties are basically the physical and chemical properties of the various elements that changes regularly as the atomic number increases from one unit to another. So this statement means that when I am in period 1, moving from period 1 to period 2, the properties will be different from those in period 1, and those in period 2 will also be different from those in period 3. So as I am moving along, the properties will continue to change because I am moving from one element with atomic number to another. We have several periodic properties on our periodic table, but regarding our lesson, we'll be looking at only the few periodic properties that concern with our syllabus. The first periodic property we'll be looking at is known as atomic size or atomic radius. The second one is what we call the ionic size. After that, we'll also be looking at ionization energy. The fourth one, electron negativity. The fifth one, electron affinity. The sixth one, that will be metallic character. And the last one, boiling point. In our next video, we'll be going straight forward to make a detailed explanation on atomic size or atomic radius.